Hey, hey, hey. Good afternoon, Nurse Manure Nation. This is Coach Kecia coming to you live from Minnesota, and I have a question for you. Are you ready and prepared to speak? If you got the phone call or the request, would you be prepared enough in order to give your information? So come on in the room with your questions and answers. I want to follow up from last week. For those of you that have did your homework, I didn't see any homework in the group. I want to know, how are things going? How is your speaking going? Good afternoon. I can't see who's on, so please say something. I'm actually in a restaurant because I didn't have time to stop at home, and I wanted to be committed to what I said I would do. So if you're in the room, just tell me who you are and where you're peeking in from or listening from, and we're going to get this party started, okay? So tonight we're going to answer the question, are you prepared enough to speak? If you got the call or the request, or you found something on Facebook somewhere, right, and they were looking for speakers, they had a call for speakers, would you be ready to speak? So who am I? My name is Kecia Hazlett. I am one of your R Enterprise coaches. You can also follow me on all social media platforms at KeciaHazlett.com, and we're going to get right into it. So tonight I'm going to give you 3 tips, things that you can do as you begin to pursue your nursing career, okay? So first, before I give you those 3 tips, I want to know, did you do your homework from last week? Did you come up with your why you want to speak, your personal why, the group that you want to speak to, why do you want to speak to them, and why is your story relevant to that particular group? So I wanted to make sure that we answer the foundation first. So now we're going to start building on that foundation, okay? So if you do your research, and I'm sure most of you probably have, but they say that speaking is like the number 1 fear that people have, of standing in front of organizations or people or stages or conferences and actually speaking. They would prefer to do something else than to stand in front of folks and have a conversation, right, or a dialogue. Well, the purpose of us offering these tips once a week is to get you prepared for that very thing, because I think when we're not prepared is where the fear comes. Now, I'm not going to say that when you are standing in front of a new audience, you may not have some apprehension, or you might have butterflies in your belly like I do all the time whenever I go to speak. But it doesn't mean that I'm not prepared, right? Because there's different, if you are speaking and you're not prepared, then you're just pulling things out of the air. And that's not what we want to do. We want to be prepared enough to present so that when we finish, they will ask us, can we invite you back? Okay? So that is the purpose of Nurse Speakers Academy, for you to come in and walk alongside of us. I hold your hand, you hold my hand, and we walk this thing together. And we learn how to do this, right? And in Nurse Speakers Academy, it's just the basics. It's just the basis. We go through step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's actually 6 lessons inside of the Nurse Speakers Academy, and you get to meet with a coach for every one of those modules, right? So you're not alone. You're not by yourself, right? We want to see you win, and when you win, we win. All right. So let's get right to it. So again, answering the question, are you prepared enough to speak if you got the phone call? So how can we get prepared? That's my question to you. So drop in the chat. And again, I'm on my phone, so I can't see who's watching. If you have a question, please put in your question. Let me see if I can log in here on my other phone and see if I can see if somebody is watching from here. Give me 1 second. Let's see here. Okay, nope, I don't see any questions or comments or anything. Okay, so hold on. Oh, multitasking. Okay, so I don't see any comments here. So if you have a questions, please put it in the chat. I will come back and I will answer. But I want to give you, ladies and gentlemen, these tips to get you started. All right. So, and I have a couple of notes here that I'm going to follow through with. So the first thing we want to do is, like we talked about last week, right? We established our why. One of the next thing we want to do is identify a topic. So what is it that you want to talk about, right? And the subject matter that you pick, you want to make sure that you're picking a subject matter that you are proficient in. I'll take myself for an example. If someone called me or wrote me or sent me an email and they said, I need you to speak about how to create or build a skyscraper, I wouldn't be able to do that. That's not my expertise, right? Now, yeah, I can go learn some stuff, but I don't have any experience to go with how to build a skyscraper. So that would not be my forte. So I wouldn't challenge myself in that area, okay? Now, if they want to talk about how can we stay healthy as we're building a business to do skyscraping, I can do that, right? But I can't talk about, hey, Miss Eva, thank you for joining. But I can't talk about how to create a skyscraper business because I have no idea. So our tip number one is identify your topic. What is it that you want to talk about, okay? So why don't you, so for those of you that will come through here later, put it in #replay and leave something for me and let me know, what is your topic? What do you talk about? What are the top 3 things that you talk about? And inside of the nurse entrepreneur, inside of Nursepreneur Academy, that's one of the things we focus on. What are the top 3 things that if you were called to speak, you could speak on, right? So, hey, Miss Sharon, thank you for joining. So, number 1, identify your topic, right? Number 2, 1A, when you identify your topic, when someone say, what do you speak about? What would be your value proposition, right? So when someone says, can you speak on X, Y, and Z, you at least want to have some signature conversations, some signature things that you can just, they said, you can just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So for me, my value proposition on one of the topics that I speak about, because I'm really moving along the side of developing high power nurse teams, so with your RN, LPN, and your CNA. So that's one of the topics I have just added to my repertoire. I am so excited about that, right? So someone asked me, okay, can you speak about team leadership? Absolutely. I'm good at it, and I'm sure you are too, right? So then my topic is, so my value proposition would be, hey, how you doing, darling? So my value proposition would be how to develop high-performing RN CNA teams, right? That's my value proposition. What is your value proposition when someone asks you, do you speak about, right? So that's 1, identify your topic. 1A, what is your value proposition? Now let's talk about 2. And I want you to put in the chat, what is your value proposition? Do you have one? I want to know. I want to know. Remember, this is a dialogue. I need to talk to you. I'm a church girl. So, in church, we always get a, amen. Yes, honey. Yes, go ahead. Right? So I need some, I crack myself. So I need some feedback, right? So y'all talk to me. All right. So we said number 2 was, so 1, identify your topic. 1A, what is your value proposition? And number 2 is, who do you want to speak to? So if I know that my value proposition is about high-performing teams, who better benefits from that conversation? Who better benefits from that training? Who better benefits from that information, right? So, and I can't give that to everybody because it doesn't fit everybody, but who does it fit? Somebody give me some examples of where that fit. I'm waiting. Ooh, that hurt my hand. Where does high performing team education or trainings fit? Can someone tell me? No, you're not gonna tell me? Okay, no problem. I'm gonna give you an answer. All right, so hold on 1 second. All right, there we go. So let's say here are some examples would be hospitals, right? Yes, staff members, absolutely. Thank you, Miss Kecia. I appreciate that. Thank you. Absolutely. 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 So, nurse leaders, staff members, who else would benefit from high performing team training? Somebody give me some answers. I need to know. I need to know. And then while you're answering that, I want to know what your topics are. What do you talk about? What are you good at? What are you learning to be good at? What are you training on? Who are you preparing to speak to? Right? Because the goal of all of this is for us to give you tips, right? So for Kecia to come and give you tips. And then based on the tips that I give you, I want you to be able to extrapolate whatever it is that you need from those tips and apply it to something and move forward. I don't want you to just sit here and take in information and be an information hoarder, and you're sitting on this big old fat mound of all this goodness and you're not sharing it with anybody. That's not the point of all this. The point of all this is to pour into yourself so that you in turn are prepared when you get the phone call or the email and you can present to people. So remember, at the end of all of this, you must do something. I challenge you, you must do something. Can somebody put in the hashtag do something? Okay, you must. All right. So identify the topic, value proposition, who you want to speak to, right? So I gave you some examples of where I would be speaking. So if you, let's say you were speaking about moms starting a business, where would you find those moms? Somebody give me some examples. Where would you find moms that are looking to start businesses? Or perhaps they already started and they just need some support. Where would you find them? And how would you get them interested in what it is that you want to say? Okay? So, who do we want to speak to? And where are they? Simply, where are they? Right? So I know, and let me back up a little bit. I want to just give you this tidbit. Next week, I think we'll talk about types of speakers, right? Because there's types of speakers. Everybody is not a keynoter. Everybody is not a presenter. Everybody don't do facilitating. There's different types. So we can actually take our topic, and I don't want to give you too much, but we can actually take a topic and we could create a signature topic and we could talk about that topic to our people or to the people that you think would best benefit from your message, right? So you don't necessarily have to be, quote unquote, somebody that goes out to a hospital or assisted living or skilled nursing facility or corporation or nonprofit in order to speak. You can actually build your own stage and become the speaker in that space. Okay? All right. So let's just do a recap. Hey, Miss Flo, thank you for watching. So let's do a recap. So the question I asked at the beginning was, am I prepared enough to speak? If someone called me, would I be prepared to present? Would I be prepared to send my information? Would I be prepared to give them what it is that I talk about? Would I be prepared to give them a sample of something that I have been doing? Are you prepared for the call? In that, we have identified a topic. We identified, number 2, our value proposition. We have identified who we want to speak to. And then we have identified where we can find those persons or people, right? What type of events will I find them? All right? So if you have any questions related to how to get prepared for your speaking engagements, be it keynoting, facilitating, your own signature speech, going to high schools and talking to seniors, or preparing to go to college and you're teaching something. It doesn't matter what platform. If you are ready to level up, if you're ready to rise up, if you're ready to go to the next level, if you're ready to be crystal clear about what it is that you want to do, I want you to connect with me. You can find me, again, all social media platforms, but also drop a comment in the comment box so that I will follow up with you and answer any questions you may have. And then also we have an online program where we do a hybrid session. You do your personal training by yourself. It's 6 modules. You do your personal training by yourself, and then you meet with me, and then we will go over that particular module together in preparation for you to be prepared for the call. You can go to ourenterprise.info. Again, that's ourenterprise.info, and you can check us out for more information. I appreciate you for being here. We are here for your success. When you win, we win. I can't win without you, nor can Nursepreneur Nation win without you. So, with that being said, you have a magnificent, audacious, on top of the world evening, and I will see you on next Monday, same time, same bat channel, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, Kecia says good night.